Hey, good morning everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. Winding down my patio, I just wanted to go over some final steps here. How important it is to scrub the surface after stamping. This is the next day. I hit it with a power washer and saw cut, and now I am cleaning it. And I don't just want to power wash it clean. I have a stiff bristled brush, thoroughly scrubbing the surface of the concrete. In the mortar joints, all around the perimeter, including the border, really working that surface, actually etching the surface, getting those pores opened to accept the sealer. There's a residue left behind as the cement dries. And if you don't scrub that off, then the sealer won't bond. So this is very critical in the sealing process. It's a fast process, but make sure you hit every square inch of this patio needs to be done. And then a power washing. And you can actually see a residue coming off of it. The white water coming out of maybe the wave of the pressure washer is the residue left behind that you just want to get off of there. And pay close attention to the saw cuts. The cement dust left behind from the saw cutting needs to be scrubbed off. Right in there, it'll settle, and it won't just come off with a pressure washer. You actually have to scrub it to remove all that, or you'll see a white line underneath your sealer that you just can't get rid of after you seal it. So it's real important that you take your time and do these steps. There is the patio, all cleaned, scrubbed, and re-cleaned. So it's drying slowly, but pretty good. I just finished over there, a little bit of sun, that's going to dry up real fast. It's getting kind of late. I think we're pushing 6 o'clock now. I'm probably not going to be able to get any antiquing on tonight. We'll save that for tomorrow. And that's a real quick process. Spray on antiquing, give it a scrub. Once that's dry, ready for sealer. Okay, so my patio is nice and clean from my power washing yesterday. I just used the leaf blower to keep the leaves and the debris from the maple trees that's fallen on that end. I just clean that off, no water needed. Everything's nice and clean. I mixed up the charcoal permatique antiquing in my sprayer, ready to go. And I'll show you how I do that in a minute. Right now I'm going to show you how I apply it. It's just all sitting there in the sprayer, mixed up, ready to go. It's easier with 2 people. I made this little shield that I'll use around here, as well as on separating the border from the main. So I'll get the camera set up and get started. Okay, so whenever I start antiquing this, I'm definitely not going to start in the middle. I'm going to start at that pier and start antiquing all the way around continuous and stop at a pier and then pick it up again. I don't want to start in the middle of anything and leave an overlap site. So start right there, hit my steps, continue right around. Notice how whenever I set the sprayer wand down, I put it in the grass. If that drips a little bit, you will see a little puddle there. So always leave that laying somewhere where it's not going to hurt anything. If you have to, leave it in the joint of the concrete, just in case it does leak a little bit. So lots of pressure. And once you get it pumped up, give it a good shake. Keep those solids all the way through the liquid. Okay, here we go. 2 people would make it a lot easier, but that's okay. So just use my shield, give it a little test spray. Well, that's gonna look nice. When you're doing the faces, just miss the faces. If you hit it too much, it'll just run right off. I'll hit this and we'll come back and take a look at it. Okay, back to my shield. You can see the drips. So you don't want to... So I try a couple different things, whatever works. Notice how I have a floppy here. I can turn this sometimes and go in around a bend like that. I'll just stick with my shield for now. So shield my grill. Now I'm about halfway done. Here's where we put all of my kids and my grandkids' handprints in the concrete. You can see how the storm gray just settles and really highlights their handprints. So that looks really neat. All the way around here, it's all darkened. Now out here where I started, it's almost dry, almost ready for sealer. Now where it dripped on the patio, a damp sponge before sealing, I can clean this right up. So a couple spots, try and keep it to a minimum, but I did get a couple there. I got the front of my grill, so I can wipe all this off before I seal that. Over here I think looked pretty good. It's just hard around here with one person. 2 people, you can do a double shield. 1 person, I don't think I did too bad. A couple spots there, there, and there, yeah. So I'll go ahead and get that cleaned up and we'll do the other coat. Okay, so I'm back up at my truck at my mixing station. the Permatique Antiquing. It's water-based. I get it from Carroll Supply. Used to be SSC. Now it's Carroll Supply. It's a water-based product. Real nice to work with. This is Westwood Brown. It's like a real deep chocolate brown. It comes in a bag with a 6-ounce scooper. So keep this closed up when you're done with it. The material will last forever. Once you mix it up, you have to use it. So mix up what you need plus a little, and then just throw that away when you're done with it. Close this bag up, keep the dry, and it'll last forever. So I just use an old mixer. Used to make margaritas, but now it makes Permatique Antiquing. So I put about 2 cups of clean water in it. I used to be a bartender. No, I didn't. Okay, so I want real pronounced color in this. I'm going on top of sandstone. So 6 ounces per gallon of water. I'm going to go about 8 ounces, just a little bit heavy. And it says right on the bucket, 6 ounces, and then tweak it to your liking. So you can go a little bit heavier or a little bit lighter if you want to. So I'm going to put a little bit more in there. So half of a scoop. So about 8 ounces per gallon. I got about 3.5 gallons in my sprayer. It's a 4-gallon sprayer. It's down from the top a little. So I'll mix up 4 batches, dump it in there. I already have the water in the sprayer, so I'm just pre-mixing it. You can use a paddle bit on a drill in a 5-gallon bucket. Both work good. I prefer doing it this way in a blender. Get it real mixed up good. I dump it in there and give it a shake. Good to go. You want to stick pretty true to your measurements. That's a big patio. If one sprayer doesn't cover the whole area, and I only have to mix up a gallon, you can use the same recipe and get it real close. So I got a couple drips on my sandstone. So with a damp sponge, before sealer, and wipe it off. Okay, same way. Started in this corner. I'm going to work my way all the way around out to that end. Everything's in the sprayer. It's pumped up. Let's give it a good shake. I shield the edge. And here we go.
So what I did here, I just sprayed a little bit of water in this area to see if I like the look of it. And it's almost dry again, but you can see how it's going to look whenever it is sealed. So I'm going to stop there. If I wanted it darker, I could add more antiquing. If I wanted it lighter, I could scrub some of that off. It's nice when you get it right the first time and don't have to mess with it. Once this is all dry, it is ready for sealer. Just have a couple spots right in here. In the shade, it's obviously drying slower. Out here where I finished up in the sun, a couple spots, but it is just about ready for sealer. It's going on about 6 o'clock, so I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to get it on tonight or if I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow. The problem is it rains every other day here, and I'm excited to get this done. So 2 coats of sealer, I can hook my lights up, project done. All this goes back on here. Hey, good morning everybody. Another rainy day here in Pittsburgh, PA. I'm going to work on my lights down here on the patio and try and get this project wrapped up. It's basically the last thing I have to do. I have 20 of these to do all the way around here. We were working on the walls last night, Dawn and I was going to film it, and then she said, well, if you shut the camera off, I'll come help you. So I really wanted to help, and I don't know why. She always looks great, so she's just worried about being on film for the world to see. So we went ahead. I got a little bit of sand I was forcing underneath there. I'll show you what we did over here. So here we got all the wall back up. So I still have to get a little bit of stone in this area, but that's the bump out area. I had talked earlier about I was going to put a conduit underneath my hose reel all the way over to my hose bib. I decided not to do that. I just didn't want anything going wrong underneath there. Not a big deal. And this is all put back together here, going up the steps. Sprinkle a mulch, get my low voltage lighting set up, and there we go, all back together. Grill areas, almost ready to grill. Little tiny bit of topsoil around here. Anxious for this project to be done. Okay, I'll get a couple lights hooked up and take you through that. So you can see how it's just a flush mounted light. You can walk over it. You'll never hurt that light. It's actually recessed down just a little bit. You could probably wipe some silicone around there. I don't really think there's a need to. That's so tight. A little bit of dirt and debris on that, that's going to be sealed. It's fine. You really don't need anything on there. So deck dots from Decor Lighting. They wanted to see the video. I told them what I was doing, and they said definitely send them the video. They were curious how this was going to work, and who knows where that can go. So they might have some good ideas for me to do this differently, but that worked real good around my pool. It's working good here, so we'll keep going with it. Steve and Stan came back from their morning travels, saw cutting the floor, and agreed to work for free.
I did not agree to that.
Just kidding. So they're helping me out getting all this mulch in place. Looking good. Looking good, guys. I used to buy this by the truckload and wheelbarrow it down in here, but now I just do the bags. The bags are so much easier. Carry them in place, drop them. Thanks for your help. I started working on this one, it was full of water. So I got a straw and I pushed it right beside my wires. Making sure the wires are beside the straw. And then I got a real skinny masonry bit and went through the straw and drilled a hole. Right through the conduit. Now, what little water does get in there, it's gonna filter out into my sub-base, into my gravel. I didn't want it laying in the conduit, and this was probably just from the rain we've had, obviously, and I was power washing all this. Usually, very, very little water is gonna get in there. So that's how I dealt with that. Thought that might be interesting, seeing the tube, keeping the drill bit away from the wire. Off and on, I've been at this all day. I got all these lights. You can see my little pile of garbage at each light. All the way across, 20 of them. I am on my last one right here. My fingers are so sore. Who came up with this crazy idea? I'll tell you. So I'll get this last one hooked up. I'll hook it to the transformer. Maybe I can do a test light tonight. Okay, so one last signing off for my backyard patio project. It's been a fun project, and I think this is our longest running video series. We probably have 7 videos leading up to this point. So if you'd like to go back and see it from the very beginning, when I was demoing the old patio, downspouts, all the forming, prepping, and preparing, check it all out. And then earlier last year, we posted the video on doing the fire jump rock. So once we get the cover off the pool, we'll get that lit up for you with some water going over it, and probably some kids and I jumping off of it. So as always, thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. See you on the next project.